May everyone be happy. May everyone be free of disease. May auspiciousness be seen everywhere. May suffering belong to no one. Peace. Jai Gurudev. Ladies and gentlemen, something is coming along for you to see and hear. And it will be coming along on June 5.
David, Mr. Lynch, in heaven everything is fine. In heaven everything is fine. In heaven everything is fine. You got your good things and I got mine. Ba bam bam ba ba bam ba ba bam 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 bam. In heaven everything is fine. In heaven everything is fine. In heaven everything is fine. You got your good things and I got mine. Ba bam bam ba ba bam ba ba bam 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 bam. Surely now, this is a beautiful legendary song from Eraserhead that a lady in the radiator. Mr. Lynch, life's only been forever. Good morning, nic más medio simple.
Yes, massimo, adesso è semplice. Or simply, 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 or simply that. It's the Lynch. And these are the last 2 days that I show, this is last 2 times. Show to you the 4, it means of Sublime for 9, 17 years, because in 2 days exactly it will be so much better me. Mr. Lynch is his birthday. Yes, and so the 4 will become 5, so sum of plus 5 plus 5, but better, so 10, but let's say 0, and it is 80th of his birthday. It's January 18, 2026, and it's Sunday in Naples. Today seems totally cloudy. Yes, mid, la sooner from mid, sunshine means a clear sunny day, scatters and jets into the clouds, but I'm better see most of the cloud at the moment, and it's so similar. Now it's early, no, it's also similar. Now it's between early, it's between early afternoon 14 and 5 minutes. 59 Fahrenheit 15 Celsius, and this means that it's really cold. Like in Sibiu, fact cold classic Celsius for the winter period. So start watching per secondo. Così effect the channel was created in June stesso. 17 fuori al secondo. Also fact that we of come fuori al secondo reports. Sigare sa last per summer. Fact si perhaps on follow from me. Remember, in fact, as I from someone remember, they follow me around last per summer think on body. So I could read over come fuori al secondo reports riuto. Now also for the winter come on to be assessed on December 21 and on 16:03 or 4 PM3 in Italy. As perhaps on you think on body, which is supposed I'm sure at the remains sim society sense my proposal the fact that we should to Chinese better number of me the student evaluation for the spring summer new this fact for the speaker this soft for the summer soft for the one thing soft so that già policy di libertà così che ci siamo se guardi le grigi attraverso il nostro a fianco sempre un toda absolutamente incomplete aspetta no di sapere no because it's winter it's sicuro in general vi integrazione contro vi complete but una serie sense absolutely incomplete everything this is referred to me in particular perhaps for this period thanks to the fact that I feel cold I don't feel cold but I feel cold less than the other people thanks to series of practice better to practice I do and follow in some years to which I was started to fare cold and welcome in the winter period the winter weather awards period I always but come mi c'è che sperimentare su practice su di che e di dite in più se vuoi in case in first comment with the nastic in first part of this comment su somma si interessa first part of this comment with the nastic tu con un taglio su practice era non solo la piva ma lì ti fa che finca di fil call finalmente finco not può fil call finalmente lì ti finco adesso non di senso da ma ti finca 90% fil call o aveva in genere insieme a me was good in stia the matter scatto sette si mangia tu I don't know perché se mi dicono già si fornisce secondo ma troppo compiti fa crembi insomma fingo di sé Ingeri afro così che tre operazioni si dice arrivati just before fine fare una finita su ata l'importante è che si fa ci vedi questo foto di chissà adesso si cortina su, se cortina in genere ci usiamo perfect, se mi ripeti tante per ci usiamo perfect. Queste suppose, per come sono usate nel video di Sky e vabbè, yes, middle, vabbè, yes, according continue trends last weeks, particular 2 weeks, considering, consider according what are consequences, things, I think it's possible.